This is Emily from wavyhaircare.com, and this is Wavy Hair Care, my YouTube channel. So I'm going to start off this video with the most important thing, which is my new baby kitty, Pepperoni. We just got her last week, and she is our first kitty, and just kind of obsessed with her right now, so I had to show her in a video so that we could record how tiny she was and hopefully make some of you guys smile too. But what this video is really going to be about is why your wavy hair isn't lasting all day. This is a really common question that people have, especially when they're new to the curly girl method or embracing their natural hair texture, is why does my hair look great when I first get out of the shower, or in some cases even for a couple of hours after it dries, but then by the end of the day it's flat and stringy or frizzy, or just not the same results that they had earlier in the day. While this question is really common for people who are new, it also can come up occasionally for people who have been at this for a while. I started struggling with this after I had been doing the curly girl method or embracing my waves for a couple of years, and so I want to address different causes. Some of them are more common if this is something that you've experienced from the get-go. Others are more likely to be the case if you used to have hair that would last all day and now it's falling flat more quickly, but let's just get into it. If you are new to embracing your wavy hair or the curly girl method and you've never really got your hair to last very long, then it's almost certainly a matter of how much gel you're using, or mousse, or whatever you're using for hold. Or maybe you're not even using a product that has much hold. If you're trying to use just a curl cream or a leave-in, some people try to use just oils, then that's the #1 reason why your hair isn't lasting all day. Most people with wavy hair, especially if it's on the looser end, or especially if you have fine individual hair strands, really need help from a product with hold in order to maintain their style. For the most part, you're only going to find enough hold from gels or mousses. There are some exceptions like custards or some strong hold hairsprays, but leave-in conditioners usually don't have any hold. Curl creams usually have very, very little hold and are primarily for moisture, and so those aren't good alternatives to gel. And if you are using gel but you're still experiencing this, then you probably aren't using enough. This is a particularly common problem for people who have dense hair, because the amount of hair that individual people have can really vary, and it's not exclusively about how long your hair is. It's also about how many individual hairs a given person has on their head. So somebody who has low density hair, often people call this thin hair, can be literally just a quarter of the amount of hair that somebody with really thick or dense hair has. And so if you have thicker hair, you're going to have to use a lot more product to get the same amount of coverage across all of your hair. And then of course how long your hair is a factor as well. Another sign that you might not be using enough gel is if you aren't getting a really good cast over all of your hair. A lot of people think that they're getting a cast if they have a little bit of a crunchiness here or there, but with a really good cast, every curl that you have is going to be stiff on all sides. So it's not just going to be a little bit here or there, it's going to be really all over. And if you aren't experiencing that, then you probably need to use more gel. The second most common cause, I would say, if you are new and have never really got your hair to last very long, would be if you're using a gel that has too light of a hold. There are lighter hold gels out there, medium hold gels, and those aren't going to give you the same amount of hold as a hard hold gel. And this can be kind of confusing because marketing definitely varies. So one company might sell something that they say is a medium hold, and another company sells a gel that they say is a hard hold, but the product that markets itself as medium hold might actually have more hold than the one that markets itself as hard hold. So unfortunately, we can't always assume that if a product says it's hard hold that it really is hard hold, which is unfortunate. But if you look up the type of gel that you're using and Google something like the title of the gel and is this hard hold, hopefully you'll come up with some forums or some wavy or curly hair groups where people will be talking about how that product performs for them. But certainly if you're using a product that says soft hold, or a lot of times instead of actually saying soft hold, it'll say touchable hold or flexible hold, things like that all kind of indicate softer hold, then try a harder hold gel. And if you're looking for a hard hold gel that should definitely give you a good cast, I would recommend LA Looks Gel, because it's like $2 for a huge bottle, and it's a great one to use if you're just kind of learning how to get a cast. And I have a video about troubleshooting different problems with casts that you might find useful as well. If you find that you usually get a cast but then just occasionally don't, and you can't figure out what's going wrong on those days, then that might be that you unintentionally used less gel that day, or you didn't distribute the gel as well that day, so some parts of your hair didn't get as good coverage as other sections. Or it could be that you touched your hair more that day, or that you used a leave-in or a cream that disrupted the cast. A pretty common experience is, even if I use the right amount of a hard hold gel, if I really touch my hair a lot, or if I try to scrunch out the crunch or break that gel cast before my hair is completely dry, that will disrupt the cast from fully forming, and then my hair is going to fall a lot flatter than it will if I get a good cast and let it completely dry before I touch my hair. Another potential cause, if you only intermittently experience your hair falling flat, would be humidity. So different hair products use ingredients that are designed to work with humidity to help moisturize your hair. These are ingredients like glycerin or other humectants, and they actually can pull water out of the air and moisturize your hair, hydrate your hair. And this can be really great in a lot of weather conditions, but in really humid conditions, it can pull so much water out of the air that it can leave your hair so wet that it can cause your hair to get weighed down from the moisture, and sometimes even get like sticky or producty feeling from your gel reactivating from all that moisture. And so some products just aren't really designed to be used in really humid conditions. If you find that you get a really good cast maybe in the winter, but then as you move towards summer and it gets more humid, you find that your hair falls flatter sooner, that's likely an issue with humidity. So you may need to change products to ones that don't include as many humectants, or that include products that are humidity resistant. Some people use oils for this purpose. Occlusive oils can be used on top of a cast or on top of a gel that has humectants in it, and those can help block out humidity even if you have humectants in the product like glycerin. If you used to have hair that would last all day regularly, and now suddenly your hair never lasts, especially if you're not getting a good gel cast with products that you know used to give you a gel cast, then that is likely an issue with your moisture and protein balance. You likely have gotten over moisturized and need to add protein into your routine. I had this problem about 2 years after I had started embracing my waves, and I could not figure out why. I just could not get a cast for the life of me anymore. And it wound up being that my hair was really over moisturized. My hair had gotten healthier as I've been treating it more gently for a couple of years, and as my hair got healthier, it didn't need as much moisture and could get moisture overload a lot easier. And so I started having to add protein into my routine, and I also backed off of how much water and conditioner I was using. A couple of other possibilities that I wanted to throw out there would be that you're stretching your hair out in some way or another. So if you are putting your hair up, or if you are wearing a hat, or you're sleeping on your hair and not protecting it, or maybe not protecting it with the best method for your particular hair type, then those things can all cause your hair to get stretched out and kind of fall flatter. Another possibility would be air drying instead of diffusing. Air drying works great for some people, but for others it really weighs down their hair. And so if you find that your hair maybe maintains some waves at the very bottom, but the upper portion is really straight all the way until the ends, that's often a sign that your hair was being pulled down from the weight of water as your hair was air drying. And my hair definitely is that way. It holds onto water like crazy. It takes like an entire day to dry, it feels like. And if I try to air dry, I will end up with waves just at the very bottom, but it'll be straight until like here. And diffusing is the big way to get around that for me. And the last point I wanted to make was, even if you're using a product that you know used to give you a cast and you think you're using enough, if it's been a while since your last haircut, you may consider adding more gel just to see if your hair has grown more than you realized. Just a couple of months ago I had this experience where I thought my hair was over moisturized and I kept trying to add in protein because I wasn't getting the type of cast that I was used to and my hair wasn't lasting as long. Then I realized it had been like 6 months since my last haircut. And so my hair had grown enough that I really needed to be using a lot more gel than what I was using because of that extra hair. And when I just added more gel, that solved the problem for me. I hope this has helped you figure out why your hair might not be lasting all day. But if you have other things that you've learned about your hair and what can cause it to not last as long, or tips and tricks for getting your hairstyle to last extra long, leave those in the comments below. So me and Pepperoni will see you next time. Bye!